Hey Cowboys Nation, let's go for another round of news from America's team. Watch until the end so you don't miss any news and sign up to stay tuned for everything that comes out about the Cowboys.
CeeDee Lamb to beat out $32 million per year? That is a pretty penny by any stretch. Lamb is currently slated to play 2024 on his option year, worth $18 million. He is coming off a year in which he led the league with 135 receptions and totaled 1,749 yards. In all, he has averaged 78.0 yards per game in his career and had 102.9 yards per game last season. Lamb was tied for fourth at Pro Football Focus among grades for 2023 wide receivers, with a 91.2. That was behind Tyreek Hill, who earns an average of $30 million per year, Ayuk and Amon-Ra St. Brown. He was tied with Nico Collins and Jefferson. That is one of the difficult aspects of Lamb's situation. He is waiting to see what Ayuk and Jefferson do, while they are waiting to see what Lamb and each other does. They were all watching St. Brown match Hill at $30 million per year and saw the Eagles' A.J. Brown sign for $32 million per year. Important to note, Tory Dandy is the agent for both Brown and Lamb. It's highly unlikely that he is going to accept less for Lamb than he did for Brown. That means that, no matter how things shake out, expect the Cowboys to have one of the top 3 receivers in the game when Lamb does sign. At least as much as Brown, more than Ayuk, and probably a notch below Jefferson. Cowboys' ridiculously fast WR tabbed as 53-man roster sleeper. It is that point of the NFL offseason when we can start to think that maybe anything is possible, when a little-used player who has no resume to speak of can look good enough to spark speculation that maybe, just maybe, he could be an out-of-the-blue rags-to-riches story. Given the way the Cowboys roster has been bedraggled by free agency losses and the lack of cap space to make up for those losses, one or two of those stories in Dallas would be useful. On the Locked On Cowboys podcast, they went looking through the current set of Cowboys for potential sleeper options who could come from almost nowhere to earn a spot on the 53-man roster and from there on to NFL glory. And the guy host Marcus Mosher came up with as his Cowboys sleeper is interesting indeed. Tyron Billy Johnson, the 6th-year wide receiver whose last name has the potential to cause headaches for copy editors everywhere. Tyron Billy Johnson, Mosher said, who is a guy who I am sure it is completely random even mentioning his name. We haven't heard his name very much, but we have heard his name kind of whispered in the wind a little bit from players. I hear other players talk about him. From coaches, randomly. Tyron Billy Johnson has bounces through organizations. There is good reason to have heard others speak of Billy Johnson. He is fast. The NFL will always take notice of 6'1", 193-pounders like Billy Johnson when they can run the 40-yard dash in under 4.4 seconds. Billy Johnson can, having done a 4.36 during his pro day before the 2018 draft. Whether he can perform the finer tasks required of a wide receiver is another question. Raw ability had Billy Johnson rated as a 5-star prospect when he signed with LSU out of high school in Louisiana, but he did not get on the field much and transferred to Oklahoma State. Even there, he was good not great, logging 845 yards in 13 games as a redshirt junior. That's why he went undrafted in 2018. Billy Johnson has been rostered for 4 teams in his career, first with the Chargers, then with the Jaguars, Raiders, and Texans, and has had stints with several other teams as a practice squatter. He caught 20 passes for 398 yards and 3 touchdowns as a rookie, but has just 3 catches since. Cowboys kept TBJ on practice squad all year. The Cowboys kept him on the practice squad for all of 2023, and since they're bringing him back for 2024, the assumption is they think Billy Johnson could make the 53-man this time around. Basically, he was not a guy who was really in shooting range of making the roster, but he hung around. He was part of the team. He made it through the offseason. He worked with these guys, Mosher said. So, clearly the Cowboys liked him a lot. And you're starting to hear, as we get closer and closer with OTAs, you're starting to hear his name more and more. He's a guy who has got really great speed. Indeed, in his pre-draft scouting report at NFL.com, Billy Johnson was called deep ball specialist with ability to take the top off defenses. Johnson's game is geared to get down the field and make explosive catches, but the rest of his skill set is still very raw. It could be that his game is still too raw for NFL teams, but he is 28 years old and probably running out of chances to cling to the fringe of an NFL team. The Cowboys need speed, though, and he's got it. His speed is outrageous, Locked On Cowboys co-host Landon McCool said. He is so ridiculously fast. He ran a 4.36 at his NFL Pro Day, and I am telling you, that's not even close to how fast he plays. That That's why, despite barely having any production in the NFL and college, he continues to get shots. Dak Prescott sends message on Trey Lance amid uncertain Cowboys' future. There continues to added attention on Trey Lance as the Dallas Cowboys have yet to reach a new contract agreement with Dak Prescott. The Cowboys franchise quarterback was candid about Lance pushing him for reps, while praising his growth since arriving in Dallas. He's just come in really with that mindset of working and how can I get better and asking me questions, coaches questions, Prescott told reporters on May 22, 2024. He's calling young guys. He works his expletive off. He's pushing me, I can tell you that. I'm somebody, you know. I don't like to let other people get more reps than me or not. And Trey is the person I've got to watch because he's trying to get up there on the representative count. And so that's a testament to him and how much he's putting into this. And I've seen it, and he's gotten better. Yeah, he can play. Cowboys rumors. Dak Prescott will become a free agent in 2025 unless a new contract is signed. Prescott is heading into the final season of a 4-year, $160 million contract. The presence of Lance may have increased importance given Prescott can hit free agency in 2025 if no new deal is signed. Prescott has no franchise tag and no trade clauses, which gives the star quarterback a lot of leverage in negotiations. Lance has yet to take a snap in a game for the Cowboys since the August 2023 trade with the San Francisco 49ers. Cowboys news: Trey Lance has been taking snaps over Cooper Rush as the backup quarterback. Dallas Cowboys comms Patrick Walker reported that Dallas is giving Lance the backup quarterback reps ahead of Cooper Rush during OTA practices. It remains to be seen if this trend will continue in training camp and preseason action. On Trey Lance, I noted today offline to a colleague that the young Cowboys QB looks far more comfortable than I've ever seen him in the pocket and on throws, Walker said in a May 22 message on X. Not long after, Dak Prescott gave his view of Lance, including how a better Lance equals a better Dak. Dak Prescott on Trey Lance chasing him. I hope he pushes me. Prescott was also asked for his feelings about Lance potentially trying to pass him on the depth chart. The veteran quarterback welcomed Lance to push him while maintaining confidence. That's okay, Prescott said on Lance potentially trying to take his job. As long as he's getting better, I promise you I'm getting better. So I encourage it. I hope he pushes me. I hope he makes people think so. I know where I'll be, and I know who I am and confident in the person and player that I am. So I hope he does. Hope he pushes me. Dallas also faces a challenge in evaluating Lance's future. Lance is heading into the final season of a 4-year, $34.1 million rookie contract. The Cowboys declined Lance's 5th-year option, which means the quarterback will be a free agent in 2025. If Lance impresses at all during the preseason or actual games, Dallas could face competition next offseason to re-sign the quarterback. All this in addition to the uncertainty of Prescott's future.